You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports 2. Well, we're going to talk about Art Briles, University of Oklahoma, Brent Venables, Jeff Lebby, of course, the AD, and Jason Whitlock, which is somebody I really like to consume a lot of his content. I have for over 20 years, back when he was still involved in Kansas City, and, of course, his early ESPN days. Jason Whitlock was very good on ESPN back in the day. A lot of people don't realize he was the go-to guy for PTI when one of the two Wilbons or Kornheisers were out and all that. And, of course, we know he went to Outkick, and now he's at The Blaze and has Fearless on YouTube and The Blaze. Good podcast, too. So, anyway, he has come out. He's made some comments, and he's a lot like me. I'm trying to figure out what exactly was the issue with Art Briles having been on the field at the Oklahoma game. I'm confused because, and we all know what happened or what supposedly happened in Baylor. But I'm just gonna take you back real fast because Clay Travis tweeted this out 4 years ago. The charges in this case got a ton of publicity and helped get Art Briles fired. But it only took 45 minutes to find this former Baylor football player not guilty of sexual assault. That was Sean Oakman. He was not guilty of sexual assault. And the comments by Brent Venables and the AD, and frankly the reaction, and of course we got to remember, Twitter's not a real place. Okay? I mean, the outrage is always going to come from the wokes on Twitter that are losing their ever-loving minds, and a lot of people are asking, what exactly did Art Briles do? And why the hell isn't he a coach? Now, if you are butthurt about Art Briles, then you're going to be mad by the fact he almost got the Texas Tech job. I'm just putting that out there. All right? In much of the same way as John Gruden did not get the LSU, but almost got the LSU job. Another one that would have everybody butthurt right now. Art Briles almost got that job. He was in play. It is astonishing that he is not at some program right now. And let's just get to this because Jason Whitlock is pissed, and I don't blame him, and I don't get it. I mean, what is it exactly that Art Briles, a phenomenal college football coach, by the way, an offensive, he's a badass. There's no other way to say it. Art Briles was the coach when Robert Griffin III went out there, won the Heisman, and became the number 2 overall draft pick in college. I mean, into the NFL. So this is the Daily Mail. That was the National Review, and we've got Brent Venables' limp dick comments on ESPN, and they'll probably be brought up in this article as well. Sports podcaster Jason Whitlock has weighed in on the controversy surrounding the presence of scandalized former Baylor football coach Art Briles on the field after Oklahoma's win over SMU. Briles has remained a controversial figure in college football circles since 2015. Dismissal amid a massive sexual assault scandal at Baylor. Despite that, Briles, who is the father-in-law of Oklahoma's offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby, curiously surfaced on the field in Norman as the Sooners players celebrated their victory. How curious is it? Jeff Lebby's the offensive coordinator. Art Briles is part of his family. His family came onto the field. Oh, no, you can't come on the field. Of course Jeff Lebby's not going to tell Art Briles that. It's baffling. Stop it. Oklahoma head coach Brent Venables has since said the issue is being, quote, dealt with. But Whitlock blasted the response as sickening and hypocritical. Well, the problem is the Oklahoma AD and the Oklahoma coach You guys are as responsible for creating this issue or making it an issue as anybody. I mean, as anybody. You're by even making this an issue. I was made aware of it. Aware of what? A former college football coach who's the father-in-law of your OC on the field with his family? Art Briles is part of Jeff Lebby's family, whether anybody likes that or not. You guys are making this controversial and not wanting to just push back and be like, he brought his family on the field. We're not going to tell him he can't do that. I mean, but you're saying things like it's being dealt with, like it's a problem. Well, you're gonna make it look like a problem if you start making comments like that. I was made aware of it just before I came in here that he was on the field, Venables told reporters. That's being dealt with. Are you really going to punish Jeff Lebby for bringing his father-in-law on the field? Are you shitting me? Asked about the reaction from Oklahoma fans, Venables said, I've had no time to think about any of that. Oklahoma Athletic Director Joe Castiglione later issued a statement. You issued a statement? So you guys are also guilty of blowing this out of proportion too. I was just as disappointed as many of our fans when I learned of the post-game situation. What situation? The guy is a member of Jeff Lebby's family. You gonna go to Jeff Lebby and be like, you got to kick him out of your family? I mean, come on. It shouldn't have happened, and it was my expectation it never would based on boundaries we previously set. I've addressed it with the appropriate staff. The fact that you actually felt the need to address it, I find that appalling, frankly. Briles has not returned to college football since his firing. Both Grambling State and the CFL's Hamilton Tiger Cats attempted to hire him, but reversed course following public backlash. Backlash for what? Last month, he was hired to coach the Dallas franchise of the International Football Alliance. That's the first I've ever heard of this professional league. Set to start in spring of 2024. This is what Lebby said. He's my father-in-law. That's the grandfather to my two kids. So he was down with our entire family well after the game, but he was down there. He's with his entire family. Do you think the wokes on Twitter give a shit? I mean, one of the players right there, not guilty. Didn't do anything wrong. Oh, but it gets better. It gets better. To make his point, Whitlock alluded to the Cincinnati Bengals running back Joe Mixon, who continued his college career at Oklahoma in 2015-2016 despite being charged with assaulting a woman in 2014. Joe Mixon can play on the field. Art Briles can't celebrate with his family. Circular society is evil and hypocritical, no doubt. Jason Whitlock's 100% right. He's 100% right. And there's his comments right there, Jason Whitlock. Mixon was allowed to continue his football career with the Sooners after serving a 1-year suspension for a misdemeanor assault charge in 2014. Listen to this. When he was seen punching a woman that resulted in broken bones in her face. I think a lot of us has seen that footage. A lot of us has seen it. But nah, if he can play football, we'll let him on the field. That's all right. Footage of the incident showed Mixon and the woman arguing before he began punching and slapping him to his face. He claimed he was called a racial slur during the altercation. Briles was fired by Baylor in 2016 after a massive sexual assault scandal involving a number of football players at the school. The school was accused of suppressing reports of rapes and misconduct against players. One player, Tevin Elliott, was sentenced to 20 years in prison for 2 assaults against a Baylor student in 2012, while another, listen to this very closely, Sam Uchiwachu, was indicted on a pair of sexual assault charges, which were ultimately overturned after a lengthy court battle. Overturned. So this culture ended up being 1 for 3 on charges. 1 for 3. The scandal resulted in the resignation of Baylor president Ken Starr, who has since passed away, and athletic director Ian McCall. The allegations have also hindered Briles' efforts to land another coaching job. Sooners fans took to social media Saturday night to voice displeasure after seeing Briles on the field to celebrate a 28-11 win over SMU while wearing an Oklahoma shirt. Afterwards, Lebby and Briles attended the game with family. That's where he gave the statement about him being part of the family. I don't know. I mean, two of the 3 players involved with said incidents, there were no legal repercussions. One was found not guilty. The other one, both charges overturned. Boy, the media hadn't come out and made that real public, have they? That those were overturned, but Art Briles can't step down on the Oklahoma Sooner football field with his family without everybody losing their minds. It's crazy. Art Briles ought to be a coach right now. I'm keeping it real. He ought to be a college football coach right now. He's a good one, a damn good one. I mean, he can't even be an offensive coordinator. Did he commit the acts himself? Question mark. Just wondering. Oh, he didn't? Okay. I mean, it's crazy. I'm sorry, but I think what are Oklahoma Sooner fans really worried about? Are they worried about Art Briles, or are they worried about Brent Venables not really being the right guy for the job? Because that might be what I'd be worried about right now. Because I have not thought he was the right guy from the job from the moment he was hired out of Clemson. That guy is number 2. He's not Bob Stoops. He's not Lincoln Riley. And that's what I would be concerned about from a football perspective, is that maybe that guy's not the right coach. And I'm sure I'm going to get down votes. I don't care. The cancellation of Art Briles has been horse shit for a long time. Stop it. I mean, really? I got Deshaun Watson all over an NFL screen right now after 25 lawsuits and allegations of almost 100 women from the New York Times. And Art Briles can't get a college football job. Okay. Right. Sure. Cancel culture is bullshit. Especially around something like this. The wokes on Twitter losing their minds about Art Briles. All right. Whatever. Tell me what you think, Black and White Sports 2 supporters. He can't come down on the field with his family. Oh, the outrage. I wonder how many actual old school Oklahoma Sooner fans are outraged that Art Briles is on the field. Or are they sitting back right now going, is Art Briles available as coach? I'm sorry, but if you ask me which one's a better coach, Brent Venables or Art Briles, I'm going to tell you Art Briles every day of the week and twice on Saturday. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.